Hello and welcome to Eyes Insight. Eyes Insight is brought to you by Exa Innovation Studio. We're a global consulting firm with offices in Tokyo, Los Angeles, and Paris. Today's topic is the third of our four-part series on e-mobility. And with us today from our Paris office is Mr. Thibaut Mallet-Deschamps. Thibaut, welcome.
Thanks, Zach. I'm Thibaut, an MD in the Paris office and head of innovation and research.
And my name is Zach Lee, and I'm the innovation lead here in our offices in Los Angeles. And Thibaut, today's topic is really quite timely. Here in the United States, the big news in the EV world was from the Biden administration, who announced an executive order challenging domestic production of vehicles to be 50% hybrid or EV by 2030. That seems like a very big goal for us in the United States, and it sounds like it could have some very serious implications for our energy grid. Would you care to share your thoughts on that?
If the charging of EVs is not managed, can have an incremental impact on the grid. And it could mean adding thousands and thousands of megawatts of production. It's also an opportunity to balance the renewable introduction on the grid and to optimize the overall energy consumption. I am more optimistic than negative on this measure.
Great. And one key enabler for how we're going to be able to balance the grid moving forward is with smart charging. And so today we'd like to take a deep dive into smart charging and what that looks like. So could you just start and tell us, what is smart charging?
Yeah, smart charging is quite simple. It's the ability to control when charging stations start and stop or pause through communication.
And could you share with us an example?
Yes. So smart charging is about controlling the sessions. And there are basically two ways to do that. One way is by controlling the charger. One example of what is known as a smart charger is the Wallbox Pulsar, one of the leaders in home charging infrastructure. You can basically control your charger through your phone, through your smartwatch, but also through Alexa or Hey Google, and decide when to start, when to stop, or even give triggers to start charging when the price is below a certain threshold. Second way is by directly talking to your car. Most recent EVs are actually capable of communicating. They have both controlling units and communicating units. You can access various services of the car, including locking, unlocking, locating your car, also controlling the battery, controlling the charging sessions. And one example is the Smart Car platform. This is a cross OEM platform that is compatible with most recent vehicles, including Tesla, including Ford, GM, Hyundai, Volkswagen, Renault, Nissan. So almost a majority of the EVs being released today. Through this platform, you can control when to start and stop charging your car.
So we have smart charging solutions with the charger hardware. We have smart charging solutions built into the vehicles. This sounds like it could have some big benefits for not only EV owners, but also for the grid as well. Would you care to share some insights in that?
The benefits of smart charging for EV owners are obviously to reduce the total cost of ownership of the car and to optimize the electricity bill. And the example I show in this slide is an event that occurred in the UK in February. During a storm, the wind turbines in North Sea flooded the grid with electricity between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. The price of electricity went below zero.
Wow.
Essentially, you were getting paid to charge your car. This is like a specific event in the UK, but this is already happening almost on a daily basis in California. As we explained in the first episode of this series, California has ramped up the solar production in the last 10 years. During daytime, when the sun is high, the price of electricity is going almost to zero. And this will increase as more renewable energy is being introduced into the grid. The graph we're showing here is projection in Germany in 2040 of the energy demand during the day. For the top graph, the peak load is almost 60 gigawatt. And the bottom graph, the peak load is below 55. 5 gigawatt is roughly 5 nuclear power plants. Peak load shaving is one of the benefits to the grid. The other benefit is the stabilization of the grid frequency. Grids across the globe are running on specific frequencies. In EU, it's 50 hertz. In the US, it's 60. And all the equipment on the grid, transformers, substations, base stations, are specifically designed to cope with this frequency. Any significant deviation from this base frequency can cause serious damage to the equipment. These are very expensive equipment. So this is a very important topic for the transmission service operators. They are willing to pay good money for it. The issue with the introduction of renewables is that they run at unpredictable frequency. For instance, electricity produced by wind turbines can run at very different frequencies. The frequency of the electricity is linked to the speed of the turbines. So you can see that if the wind is running at 10 kilometers per hour or 100 kilometers per hour, the frequency is very different. There's a very critical need for the TSOs to optimize this frequency to prevent damages to the system. EVs can play a part. By stopping the charging of a number of vehicles, you reducing the demand for electricity, therefore allowing other production assets to stabilize this grid. This is what can be done with smart charging. Furthermore, as we'll see in our next session, by putting back electricity in the grid, you can also contribute to the stabilization of this frequency directly from the EV battery.
And that's a very interesting topic that we can't wait to get into next week. But before I let you go today, I want to ask you one final question. In Europe, we see that EV ownership and acceptance is far outpacing the United States. Are there any exciting startups that you're watching in Europe that are offering some solutions in this smart charging space?
You're right. There are many pilots in the UK, in the Netherlands. And one player involved in such pilots is Jetlix. Jetlix is a Dutch startup started in 2016, and they are connecting to the transmission service operators to optimize or to monetize the flexibility that can be provided by EVs. So what's the benefit for an end user of the Jetlix platform? First of all, the platform is optimizing when to charge in line with the amount of renewable available on the grid, as well as tariff. Second of all, Jetlix is also connecting with the TSOs and selling this flexibility, the ability to stop and restart charging at specific times, and there's stabilizing or reducing the peak load. And TSOs are willing to pay significant money for this type of services.
So if I understand you correctly, Jetlix does not have any hardware, but they're strictly a software service, correct?
That is correct. So Jetlix is leveraging the direct communication to the vehicle, and they're already available for Tesla owners, Volkswagen owners, and they have a partnership with Renault in France. To conclude, smart charging will become a critical function in e-mobility in the future, because the ability to optimize the tariff, to monetize the batteries through ancillary services, including demand optimization and frequency stabilization, will become significant inflows of money. The front runners in this space will have significant advantage in the future. There has been significant interest from electricity utilities, from CPOs, and from OEMs. And we've seen a lot of M&A in the recent years. So the takeaway is that any player interested in e-mobility should look into smart charging. And given the intensity in M&A in the recent years, anybody interested in this space should move fast.
Great, Thibaut. As always, it was quite an interesting conversation, and we appreciate your insights and your time with us this afternoon. We're looking forward to next week and the conclusion of our 4-part series here on e-mobility. Thibaut, thanks again.
Thank you, Zach.